Hello, my dear students. I welcome you to the English class. Today, the day is Wednesday and it is 16th of September 2020. So, hope you all are fine and studying well at your home and giving your exam honestly, right? So, let us see the thought for the day today. Today's thought for the day says that one positive thought can change your whole day. Yes, children, every morning when we wake up, we should wake up with the positive thought. I agree that in our mind there are two types of thought. One is positive and one is negative thoughts, right? So both these thoughts have a great impact in our life. So if you are thinking positively, that will lead your life in a positive manner. That means in a good way, best manner, okay? But if you are thinking negatively, if you have negative vibes inside you, that will obviously bring sadness into your life. So whenever you start your day, you start with a one positive thought. What you will think? That your day is going to be the best day of your life, and trust me, that day will be full of happiness, joy and success. Okay, so I am repeating the thought again. One positive thought can change your whole day. So the chapter we are doing now is chapter 8 from your English literature book, Marco Polo. I have completed this two parts of the story. I have divided the story into three parts. I have completed two major parts of the story and finally last part is remained. So today in our class we will discuss the last part of the story. But let us see what we did in the last two class. We knew that from the story that Marco was from Italian city of Venice and it was very rich and beautiful and a very important port also, and ships from different areas, different countries used to come to Venice, right? And Marco was a little boy at that time. And he used to roam around the quays because his father and uncle Maffeo Polo had gone to the distant land and there was no news of them for many years. But Marco was sure that his father and uncle would return one day. And when Marco was 15 years old at that time, really his father and uncle finally returned, and they were at that time serving Kublai Khan in Peking, that is now in Beijing. So this time they took Marco also with them, and during traveling over the hot plain at that time, what happened? Marco fell seriously ill. So they had to stay in the cooler countries to allow Marco to recover. So we have done till here, right? So what happened next? Let us see in today's class. Later, they climbed the highlands of Pamir and traveled towards the Gobi desert. So children, you can see that it became CLIMB, climb, but it will be past because we are telling the stories, right? We are talking about the things which already had happened. So it will be CLIMBED, climbed. Okay, that is the typing mistake, sorry for that. So once Marco recovered in the cooler countries, they started climbing the highlands of Pamir and they traveled towards the Gobi desert. Okay, and what happened after that? Let us say something about the Gobi desert that is mentioned in your story. The Gobi desert is a great stretch of land covered with ice in most parts. Hence, it is also called a cold desert. Bitterly cold winds blow all day making life very difficult. So what happened? Gobi Desert, when they were crossing the Gobi Desert is a great stretch of land. You know that Marco were traveling through land. This time they didn't take the sea route, so they were traveling in the land. So Gobi Desert is a large stretch of land, and though it is a desert, desert is very hot during the daytime and very cold during the night, right? So during Gobi Desert is most of the land of Gobi Desert is covered with ice. That is why it is also called cold desert. So because very cold, bitterly cold means very cold wind blow all the day, making life very difficult. So because of the very cold wind, here the life doesn't exist. Okay, it makes the life very difficult. So they also crossed Gobi Desert. They traveled for a month across this difficult terrain till they reached Tangut in northwest China. Here they were received by the messenger of Kublai Khan, who escorted them to the Khan's court. So now they traveled across this difficult terrain, means they traveled across the Gobi Desert for many months, and finally where they reached Tangut, that is northwest China. Finally they reached northwest China after traveling for many months, and here they were received by the messenger of Kublai Khan, and who escorted, means who guided them to the Khan's court. Okay, hope till here you all are clear. So what happened next? The Europeans were given a warm welcome by the great Mongol emperor, who took an instant liking to young Marco. So Europeans means here, who are the Europeans? Yes, the Europeans are the Polo's brother and their son Marco Polo. And Kublai Khan gave a warm welcome to the Europeans, and he took an instant when he saw Marco Polo. At that time only his interest grew in Marco Polo. And what happened next? Kublai Khan sent Marco on many missions to distant parts of his empire. Later, he even made Marco the governor of a province. So Kublai Khan sent Marco to do many things in different part of his empire. His empire was very, very vast empire, okay, and he sent Marco to different part of his empire to do different types of work. And later what he did, he even made Marco the governor of a province. So he also made Marco the governor of a province. The Polos spent 17 years in China and finally returned to Venice in 1295 by sea. After Marco Polo, no European traveled on this route for many years. So Polo, how many years did Polo spend in China? 17 years. And after spending 17 years in China, Marco Polo and his father and uncle finally returned to Venice in 1295. This time they returned by sea. After Marco Polo, no European traveled on this route for many years. So once Marco Polo returned, after that no European traveled through this route for many years. Marco wrote an account of his travels in his book The Travels of Marco Polo, which became very famous. So Marco wrote everything of his travel in his account. He wrote an account of his travel in a book called The Travels of Marco Polo, which became very famous. account was perhaps the only source of information about the Far East until the 19th century. His account astonished European readers and awakened a lot of interest in the East. It brought Europe and the Far East closer to each other. So this was perhaps the only source of information about the road. You can see that China is a part of Asia, and far from the far from the Europe in the east lies the Asia. Okay. So his account was the only source of information about the Far East until 19th century. Do you remember when was the story of Marco Polo? In which century did Marco Polo visited? Yes, he visited China in 13th century until 19, that means 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, till 600 years. It was only the travel of Marco Polo was only the account of the information of the Far East. Okay, so his account astonished means to like surprise. Okay, his account surprised European readers, and it also awakened a lot of interest. If you haven't visited that country, and if you have read about that country, that this thing happens in that country, these things are found in that country, so obviously the interest will arouse in you. So in the same way, many European readers were having a lot of interest to go in the Far East. So it brought Europe and Far East closer to each other. Many years later, the book was read by Christopher Columbus, another great explorer, who found the account very valuable for his journeys across the globe. So many years later, his book was also read by Christopher Columbus, who was another great explorer, and this account, Marco Polo account, was very valuable for his journey across the globe. Explorer means the one who travels from one place to another place, finding new places. So some of them believe that Christopher Columbus even discovered America, right? So Christopher Columbus read the book written by Marco Polo, and it was very helpful for him to travel across the globe. So this completes the story, children. Hope you like the story and hope you understood the story, right? Okay, so let us keep it till here. See you in the next class. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.